Alright, so episode 1 of Chainsaw Man the anime has finally dropped today, and with the build up and anticipation the anime community has for this series, it's definitely really high. So let me say right now, not only did Mappa Studios deliver, they even went above and beyond of what I had anticipated they would pull off here, and this is quite honestly one of the best anime premiere episodes I have experienced in my entire life. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the first episode of Chainsaw Man, the characters, things you may have missed, and how it differs from the manga. This will be a spoiler-free review for my anime only, so with that out of the way, let's begin with the opening sequence in which someone is breathing heavily, walking through an alleyway, making their way towards a mysterious door with an eyeball. This mysterious door will be making multiple appearances throughout the series, but for now, just know it will be a reoccurring dream for Denji that haunts him. We're then introduced to our protagonist of the story, Denji, with his chainsaw dog Pochita, where he mentions selling off body parts just to get by. The anime really fleshed out this scene much more than the opening sequences of the manga, and seemingly paints the picture that Denji at a young age is struggling to get by day to day. Denji revs up Pochita like a chainsaw and gets ready to kill the Tomato Devil, in which in the universe of Chainsaw Man, devil hunters, as the name implies, hunt devils down because devils coexist with humans on Earth. And as the zombie devil mentions later on in this episode, devils want to eliminate all devil hunters because they don't want to die. The opening song then kicks into gear and has so much Easter eggs in it that I will make a separate video breaking it down piece by piece, but I will say as a DJ and lover of music, the song itself is very catchy and shows off many events from the main storyline I can't wait to get into later on. Anyway, Denji defeats the Tomato Devil and is hired by the Yakuza since eliminating devils pays a lot of money. However, you can quickly see how sketchy it is to work for them and how the quote-unquote debt he owes to them will never be paid off. After Denji gets his share of his money, he's left with 1,800 yen, which translates to roughly $12.35. Back at his house, he fantasizes about living a better life, and when he passes out, we see a flashback of him when he was younger, staring at a family grave being all alone. The Yakuza threatens him to pay off his debt, and this is where Denji meets Pochita for the first time. Denji notices Pochita is injured and tells him that if he bites his arm, he will be able to fully recover, and that's because devils in this universe, whenever they are heavily injured, they can make a full recovery by consuming blood. Devils regaining their health by consuming blood will be seen all throughout Chainsaw Man, so keep that in mind. More importantly, during this interaction, Denji tells Pochita that his blood isn't free and makes a contract with him. Contracts in Chainsaw Man are very powerful because they are a binding verbal agreement between devils and humans, and they cannot be broken, which is why when Denji tells Pochita, "I'll help you, you help me." But the real payoff is much later on when Pochita merges his body as Denji's heart to keep him alive when the Yakuza betrays Denji. In the present, Denji wakes up from his dream and begins to cough up blood, mentioning he got a heart condition that his mother had. The old man Yakuza takes Denji to an abandoned warehouse for a job, and here is when Denji ultimately gets backstabbed and betrayed by the Yakuza, who we find out made a deal with the zombie devil to get stronger. Ironically enough, the joke is on the Yakuza because the zombie devil points out to Denji that his specific unique ability turns regular humans into zombies, and as zombies they are basically mindless slaves who would do whatever the zombie devil asks. What comes next is arguably the most disturbing scene in the entire episode, as Denji and Pochita tries their best to outrun the zombies but gets slashed from behind and brutally murdered. Mappa held nothing back here, and the sound effect and the out widescreen to showcase all the zombies pouncing on Denji was really horrific. Denji's thrown inside a dumpster and his blood gets into Pochita, making Pochita recall a memory of Denji recalling how devils can take over dead bodies, and that if he dies, Pochita is allowed to take control of Denji's body, wishing to live a normal life. The transition from the flashback to the present story of the blood to Denji slowly healing looks fantastic, and if you wanted to know what was connecting Denji's body together, it was actual chainsaw chains. Pochita then speaks to Denji, surprising him, saying that he always enjoyed hearing him speak about his dreams. Since Denji saved Pochita's life as a child, I love how Pochita now returns the favor and offers him a contract, which again is a binding vow between a devil and a human. In exchange for giving him his heart, Denji must now show Pochita his dreams. Dreams in Chainsaw Man is going to be a very powerful message and motivator not only to Denji but other characters all throughout the series. Denji awakens and notices he has a cord on his chest, surprisingly resembling that of Pochita, and it also surprises the zombie devil who had thought he was killed. The zombie devil tells his minions to attack, and this moment where Denji reflects on his life with the music in the background as the zombies are shown approaching him in slow motion actually gave me serious goosebumps. The spark of life when Denji revs on his cord for the first time had excellent sound design, and the tackles from the zombies zombies immediately after packed a punch. Anyway, the birth of Chainsaw Man happens here, and Mappa did an extraordinary job of showcasing how monstrous his transformation looked. The sound effects of the chainsaws themselves was excellent. Without wasting any time, Denji slashes several of them before leaping into the air, ramming his chainsaw into the eye socket of the zombie devil, and much like the manga, this was pretty awesome to see play out. We got some extra anime exclusive content because in the manga, the zombie devil pretty much dies after that specific moment. But I prefer what happened in the anime because seeing the zombie devil throw his zombies into Chainsaw Man was really interesting to see. But what was really cool is that every time Denji slashed the zombies, you actually felt the velocity of the bodies coming towards Denji with such force as he eliminated them. Speaking of force, when we zoom in on the zombie devil's eyes as it was twitching as he was being eliminated by Denji was also very visceral, and I was grinding my teeth when it happened. Now, the episode didn't mention it here, but for the most part, when a devil dies in Chainsaw Man, whatever abilities or powers they have die along with them. The zombie devil is a special case, however, because despite being dead, his zombies are still around roaming the area as Denji quickly notices. Much like the manga, they show off the leader of the Yakuza as a zombie once more as Denji eliminates him and everyone in the abandoned warehouse. The following day, we see a mysterious woman with red hair arrive, and although many people should know who this is, I'll refrain myself and mention her name when it's fully revealed in the next episode. Regardless, they do emphasize her yellow eyes with multiple red rings, and this will be a mystery that gets explored much later in the series. Nevertheless, she comments on Denji's smell and finds it odd that he smells both like a devil and human because, well, he is one. The classification for what he is will also be explored later in the series, but for now, just know people like Denji who can retain their human form while also being able to fully transform into a devil is a rare breed of devils in Chainsaw Man. As she hugs Denji, he slowly morphs back into his human form and is offered two choices to either be killed or to be the woman's quote-unquote human pet, which insert the Chainsaw Man memes right here. Denji obviously agrees with the latter half, and because of that, he will be able to have breakfast with jam on it, to which he gladly agrees. I must mention again that Mappa really knocked it out of the park with this premiere episode. The 2D, 3D animation looked fluid, although I'm sure someone will nitpick it regardless. I didn't have a problem with it. The music and sound design was actually the real MVP and impressed me the most, as it set the tone all throughout the episode and made me feel much more sympathetic towards Denji as a character because of it. I got so emotional watching this episode because this series means so much to me, and now more people are going to experience it, and I look forward to reviewing the anime weekly for each and every one of you. If you want to see a preview of what happens next week, you can click on this video right here, or if you want to hear me break down the opening sequence of the anime, you can also click right here.